Hey guys, this is Trav Max Fun and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 2023 Destination D23 Disney Parks predictions video. So guys, Destination D23 is this weekend. It's just around the corner. If you don't know what Destination D23 is, it's basically a smaller version of D23 Expo, and it usually happens the year after a D23 Expo. So, it's like every other year after a D23 Expo. So last year was D23 Expo. This year's Destination D23. So it's basically a pattern. Happens every other year, the year after a D23 Expo. And it is usually held at the Contemporary Resort at Walt Disney World. So like I said, it's a smaller version of D23 Expo, but just like D23 Expo, they have a Disney Parks panel where they talk about and showcase all the upcoming attractions and shows and lands that are in the works or at Disney Parks around the world. And that's what today's video is going to be all about. I'm going to give you guys my predictions of what could be announced, showcased, talked about at the Parks panel at Destination D23 this weekend. I believe the Parks panel is on Saturday, and by the time you're watching this, it's most likely Friday the 8th. Tomorrow, I believe, is the Parks panel by the time you're watching this. My predictions video. I did this last year with D23 Expo. I gave you all my predictions of what could have been announced and stuff. Next week, I will hopefully most likely make one or a couple videos talking about all the stuff announced at Destination D23. So that's pretty much all I have to say. So without further ado, let's get to the predictions. Before I get into the predictions, guys, I just want to tell you all that these are just predictions. This is just speculation. None of this stuff is 100% to be talked about or showcased at the Parks panel. These are just predictions of what could be announced, talked about, showcased at the event, the Parks panel. So just thought I would get that out there. Just thought I would say that. All right. Now let's get into the predictions, and we are going to start off with the Disney 100 Years of Wonder celebration that is currently happening. Of course, next month is a pretty big month for Disney, as Disney officially turns 100 next month, October 16th, and they are most likely going to talk about the 100 Years of Wonder celebration at the Parks panel, and if they do, which they most likely will, it will most likely take place right at the start of the panel, and I'm guessing that they would just give us a recap of everything that's happened this year so far during the celebration. And I'm also hoping that they could possibly also announce possibly some sort of special event happening on October 16th, because it would just make sense to have some sort of big special event happen on October 16th, because of course that is a very big day for Disney, as that is the day Disney turns 100. So I'm predicting that they will talk about the 100th anniversary celebration at the beginning of the panel, and I'm hoping that they announce some sort of event taking place in the parks on October 16th. And another thing too, I'm also predicting that they could announce when the 100 Years of Wonder celebration will end, because as of right now, we don't really know when it will conclude. So the Disney 100 Years of Wonder, they will most likely talk about, and I'm hoping that they announce a some sort of special event for the parks next month. So there we go. That's my first prediction. All right, I am now going to talk about Disneyland Resort and what could be announced for the resort at the parks panel at Destination D23. And Disneyland Resort is currently the main hub for the Disney 100 anniversary celebrations and events, although Epcot is also serving as the hub for the Disney 100 anniversary celebrations at Walt Disney World. So yeah. But let's talk about Disneyland Resort, starting at Disneyland Park, and we're going to start off with the Adventureland Treehouse. This has been under construction for a while now, and I think that it's very likely that they will talk about this and hopefully, most likely, give us an opening date for the treehouse. I believe just recently Disney said that the treehouse will open this fall. So I'm hoping that at D23 they announce an official opening date for the treehouse. So yeah, this has been under construction for a while, and I think it's very likely they will talk about this and possibly give us an opening date. Alrighty, next up, I'm going to talk about the Haunted Mansion New Orleans Square expansion. This was announced just recently. They announced that Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, the queue is going to be basically expanded on the outside, as you can see in this concept art here that they released. So they're going to be expanding the queue for Haunted Mansion. They're also adding in a gift shop at the end of the ride. And they are also adding this new little area in New Orleans Square where there's going to be performers and tables to sit at. And just a nice little area in New Orleans Square. And I think they will also touch upon this at the parks panel. I don't think, if they do, I don't think they'll spend too much time on it. They'll probably just talk about it, and then, they'll probably just talk about it for maybe a couple minutes, and then they might move on to the next thing, but I think they will touch upon this at the parks panel. And this is set to open in 2024. Another thing that is set to open in 2024, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. This is one of the bigger things coming to the Disney parks in 2024. Brand new attraction coming to both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. And I think it's 100% likely they will talk about Tiana's Bayou Adventure because, like I said, it's one of the more bigger things coming to the parks, Disneyland, Walt Disney World. I think they will give us more details on the attraction. I think they'll give us more concept art for the attraction. But I think they will also give us our first look at one or a couple of the audio animatronics, because it is said that this attraction will include audio animatronics, and I think at Destination D23 we will get our first look at the audio animatronics for the attraction. Alright, so that's pretty much everything I have to talk about for Disneyland Park. We are now going to move on over to Disney's California Adventure. And really, the only prediction I have is that they'll give us an update on the Avengers Multiverse attraction that they announced at D23 Expo last year, and that's the last time we heard anything about this attraction. So I think Destination D23 would be a good time for them to give us an update on this attraction and maybe possibly give us more details and stuff on the attraction. So so I'm hoping that they do give us an update on the attraction and give us more details and maybe even some more concept art. All right, next up is Downtown Disney, which is currently going under a transformation, currently including new shops, new restaurants, dining, etc. And I think they'll give us an update on this, and maybe even give us some opening time frames for some of the things in this transformation. So I think they will give us an update on the Downtown Disney transformation. Moving on to hotels, I think they'll make a brief mention of the Disneyland Hotel Villas, because these are set to open in just a couple of weeks, September 28th. So I think they will make a brief mention on the villas. I think they will also give us an update on Pixar Place Hotel. This is the transformation for this hotel, which was originally Paradise Pier Hotel, now transforming into Pixar Place Hotel. The transformation is currently going on right now, and it is said that this transformation will be completed before the end of the year or by the end of the year, and I think they will give us an update on this, possibly some more details and concept art. So I think they will give us an update on the Pixar Place Hotel. All right, and my final prediction for Disneyland Resort is the Avatar experience that is said to be coming to the resort. So earlier this year, Bob Iger announced that an Avatar experience is coming to Disneyland, and he didn't say where in Disneyland this Avatar experience is going to be located at, but Destination D23 might be when we could hear some more about this experience, possibly details of what this experience will be, and where this experience will be located. So Destination D23, they could give us more information and details on this Avatar experience. Alrighty, so that's all my Disneyland Resort predictions. So Disneyland is done. Now I'm going to move on over to Walt Disney World, starting with Magic Kingdom. And we're going to start off with the Hatbox Ghost. He's coming to the Haunted Mansion in Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom. It was announced that he would be arriving at the Haunted Mansion. Last year at D23 Expo, it was announced that he's coming to the Haunted Mansion. I'm predicting, I think it's very likely that they'll announce a date of when he will debut in the mansion. Because Halloween is right around the corner, October. Of course, we're almost in fall now, so I think he will be coming to the Haunted Mansion sometime during Halloween season, because that would just fit perfectly. And I think at Destination D23, I think it's very likely they will announce a date for when the Hatbox Ghost will debut in the mansion. All right, next up, I'm going to talk about Tiana's Palace. Now, this is a quick service restaurant, I believe. I'm not quite sure. I think it's quick service. I'm not quite sure. But Tiana's Palace just arrived. By the time I'm recording this, Tiana's Palace opened at Disneyland Park in New Orleans Square today. Sorry guys. Tiana's Palace opened at Disneyland Park in New Orleans Square today. And why am I talking about Tiana's Palace? Well, because I think we could be getting an announcement of Tiana's Palace also coming to Magic Kingdom as well. Because it would just make most sense. It would just make the most sense. And plus, there have been rumors that Pecco's Bill, sorry if I mispronounced the name, but there's been rumors that Pecco's Bill would be closing to make way for a brand new restaurant, dining location. If Pecos Bills does close, I think the likeliest option for a replacement would be Tiana's Palace, since that's going to be right across the street from where Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to be. So, and I think Destination D23 would be a great time to announce Tiana's Palace officially coming to Magic Kingdom. So I think at D23 we will get an I think at Destination D23 we will get an announcement of Pecos Bills closing to make way for a brand new dining location, and I think that it would be Tiana's Palace. So I'm hoping D23 they announce Tiana's Palace is coming to Magic Kingdom. All right, now the big one here, the Beyond Big Thunder Mountain expansion. Now, I do not think that they're going to fully talk about this expansion. However, I think they will tease it. I think they will make like a little brief tease of this expansion, because there's another expansion that I'm going to talk about coming to another Walt Disney World park that I'm going to talk about. And this is just Blue Sky. This is just Blue Sky, by the way. This is just ideas of what they want to add beyond Big Thunder Mountain and what they want to add into another area, into another park that I will talk about here shortly. So none of this stuff is 100% confirmed, and I don't think that they will talk about the Magic Kingdom Beyond Big Thunder Mountain expansion at D23. However, I think they will give us a tease of this expansion. So, yeah. Alright, so those are all my Magic Kingdom predictions. Now, let's move on over to Epcot. And they're definitely going to talk about Epcot 100%, because they're even having a separate panel talking about Epcot, and they're also having an event at Epcot. So they're 100% talking about Epcot at the Parks panel. And one thing that I think they are 100% going to announce is the opening date for Journey of Water inspired by Moana. I think it's 100% likely they will announce an opening date. I said this about Tron in my D23 Expo predictions last year, that they would 100% announce an opening date for Tron, but D23 Expo came and all they announced was an opening season, spring 2023. But of course, Tron is open now. But Journey of Water inspired by Moana, I think that this is 100% going to receive an opening date at D23, because the attraction is pretty much completed. There's tons of previews going on right now. So I think it's 100% likely we are going to receive an opening date, an official opening date for Journey of Water. Next up is the Figment meet and greet that they announced at D23 Expo last year. That Figment would be returning to the parks as a meetable character. I think this is also another thing that they will give us an opening date for, or a debut date, I guess in this case, for the Figment meet and greet. So, yeah, so I think it's very likely they'll announce a date for the Figment meet and greet. And I also think that they will give us our first look at Figment. Yeah, so Figment meet and greet, I think they will talk about, and I think they will give us our first look at Figment, and I think they will give us a official date of when we'll be able to start meeting Figment at Epcot. The next thing I'm going to talk about for Epcot is the brand new Epcot fireworks show set to premiere later this year. So Epcot's getting a new fireworks show. It had Harmonious for the 50th anniversary, but that is gone. It went away. Now Epcot Forever is currently the fireworks show showing at Epcot right now, but it's only temporary because they are premiering a brand new permanent fireworks show later this year. It's supposed to also celebrate Disney 100, the 100th anniversary. This is the concept art for the fireworks show, and I think it is very, very, very likely we will be hearing more on this fireworks show. We'll probably get a name, a title for the show we'll probably get more details and concept art. We might even get a first look, like a first listen to the music of the show, and possibly even a official premiere date, which, I mean, it's pretty likely that they'll announce a premiere date, because if it's celebrating the 100th anniversary, the 100th anniversary is next month, it would make the most sense to premiere it next month, before, during, or a couple days after the 100th anniversary. So my prediction, I think it's going to be premiering next month, and I think it's very, very likely we'll be hearing more about this show at the Parks panel at Destination D23. And another prediction, another hopeful thing, another thing I hope they announce for this fireworks show is that We Go On will return as the main theme, or will at least be included in the fireworks show. So that's one thing I'm hoping they also announce with this fireworks show. But brand new Epcot fireworks show, I think it's very, very likely we'll be hearing more about this at Destination D23. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is World Celebration. This has been under construction for a while now, and ever since it was announced, there's just been cuts, changes to this area of the Epcot overhaul. But it seems like we are hopefully finally getting it soon, although it's still currently under construction. But we have Communicore Hall, Communicore Plaza, as well as Dreamers Point with the Walt Disney statue. And I think it's also very likely they will talk about World Celebration, give us an update on this area of the park, and maybe even an opening date. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully they'll give us some sort of insight on the opening, like time frame, dates, just whenever, just an idea of when it will officially open, because this has been a project that has been in the works for a while now, and they said it's set to open later this year, so hopefully we'll get some updates on World Celebration at Destination D23, which I think it's very likely we will. So, yeah. Alrighty, so those are all my Epcot predictions. Now let's get to the big one here. The Dinoland replacement retheme at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So last year at D23 Expo, they had this segment where they talked about ideas of future expansions at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, I showed you guys this earlier, but Magic Kingdom, they want to do this concept beyond Big Thunder Mountain, and the ideas they had was an Encanto area, a Coco area, and a Villains area. Yeah, and then the other one for Animal Kingdom, they had an idea of retheming Dinoland to retheme it to Moana and Zootopia. But of course, these were just ideas that they had in mind. These were called blue sky concepts. They weren't 100% locked in. They were just ideas of what they possibly want to do beyond Big Thunder Mountain and with Dinoland. But the Dinoland one, out of the two, Magic Kingdom, Big Thunder Mountain expansion, and the Dinoland Animal Kingdom replacement, I think the two that would be more likely to be talked about at Destination D23 would be the Dinoland one. And this has been something that people have been talking about all week, that they could possibly announce, that they could finally possibly talk about the Dinoland replacement. People have just been talking about this all week and have just been speculating that they will talk about this at the Parks panel. And honestly, I think there's a good chance they will talk about this. Like I said, if there's between the Magic Kingdom expansion and Animal Kingdom expansion, I think the Dinoland Animal Kingdom one is more likely to be talked about than the Magic Kingdom one. But here, this is the concept art that they released at D23 last year of the blue sky concept of Moana and Zootopia replacing Dinoland. But of course, none of this was official. This was just blue sky concepts. But at Destination D23, we might finally get to hear more about the Dinoland, Animal Kingdom, and replacement and what they want to do with the area. And we will find out if we're going to get Moana, Zootopia, or none of them at all. It might be something completely different. But of course, this is just predictions, speculation. None of this is confirmed to be talked about tomorrow. But we'll just have to see. But if they were to make a big announcement, I might have said tomorrow. By the time I'm recording this part of the video is Friday, September 8th, most likely the day you're watching this. So tomorrow is Destination D23 Parks panel. And if they were to make a big announcement tomorrow, talk about something big tomorrow in the parks, I think this would be a likely option for them to talk about. But we will just have to wait and see. But the Dinoland replacement... Dinoland replacement at Animal Kingdom. We will find out if they will talk about it tomorrow at the Parks panel. But I think there is a good chance they will. Because, also, forgot to mention this, too, just recently there were Imagineers walking around the Dinoland area. So, we will just have to wait and see tomorrow to see if we will get an official announcement of what could be replacing Dinoland at Animal Kingdom. Alright, moving on to the hotel side of things at Walt Disney World. I think there is a good chance we might get an update on the Polynesian DVC Tower. That's set to open next year. We might get an opening time frame, some more concept art and details. And they may also touch upon the Grand Floridian, revamp. I'm not really sure what's going on there. They're redoing the lobby or something. I'm not quite sure, but they might touch upon what's happening at Grand Floridian. Alright, so those are all my Walt Disney World predictions. Now let's head on over to Disney Cruise Line part of the video and my predictions for this. So just a couple days ago, they announced a bunch of things coming to the Disney Treasure, and I still think they will talk about the Disney Treasure at Destination D23, and most likely just give us a summary of everything coming. There's a Coco restaurant coming to the Treasure. There's going to be a Beauty and the Beast show. There's going to be the Aquamouse is coming to the Treasure with a brand new storyline. There's going to be a candy shop themed to Zootopia. They announced a bunch of things, and I think at Destination D23 they'll give us a summary of everything coming to the Treasure. And now we have Lighthouse Point. This is, I think, set to open in the summer of 2024, so maybe they'll give us... So first off, I think they will also touch upon Lighthouse Point, give us an update on that, more concept art, more details, and possibly an opening month. Did they say June? I'm not quite sure. All I remember is that they announced that Lighthouse Point would be opening summer 2024, I believe. But I think it's very likely they will talk about Lighthouse Point at the Parks panel. Alright, moving on over to Tokyo Disney Resort. First, we have Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Sea. This is the brand new port coming there. Coming to Tokyo Disney Sea, and just a couple weeks ago they released brand new concept art. They also revealed the names, the titles of the attractions there, and I think this is also another thing they will probably touch upon, maybe give us an opening month, but I think it will be like a summary of everything coming to Fantasy Springs, and maybe even a couple more little details here, and like I said, maybe they'll even announce an opening month. Then we have the Space Mountain revamp overhaul happening at Tokyo Disneyland in Tomorrowland. I think this is another thing they could touch upon, and possibly give us more details, maybe some new concept art. So yeah. All right, moving on over to Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney Studios Park. I think it's very likely they will talk about the Walt Disney Studios Frozen Lake expansion. This is the concept art for the expansion. Of course, the big event, the big thing with this expansion is the Frozen Land, which I think we'll most likely hear more details on. But we'll probably also hear more on this part of the expansion. Like maybe they'll announce a show for the main lake of this expansion, the lake that's going to be included in the expansion, but also the things surrounding it. Like there's going to be a Tangled attraction. Maybe they'll give us some details on that. I think we will get an update on the Walt Disney Studios Frozen Lake expansion at Destination D23. As for the rest of Disneyland Paris, they might talk about some other things here and there. Like I think they might touch upon Disneyland Hotel, because I think that's like getting some sort of refurb that they announced at D23 Expo last year. Maybe they'll touch upon Disney Village. I think they also announced a bunch of new entertainment offerings coming to the resort too. So they might touch upon that. It'd be very cool if we got a new attraction announcement for Disneyland Paris, the park, Disneyland Park, Paris, Disneyland Park in Disneyland Paris. That would be pretty cool. But I think the main focus is just going to be Walt Disney Studios and giving us an update on that. So yeah. All right, moving on over to Hong Kong Disneyland. First up is the Dreammakers statue, I believe it's called. This is a statue with Walt and Mickey, and it's supposed to be almost like a replica of, like, it's supposed to be Walt pointing at the carousel when he first thought of Disneyland, or first thought up the idea of Disneyland, when he was watching his two daughters on the carousel, and that's where he first came up with the idea of Disneyland. This is supposed to be that, which I think is very cool and very neat. This is the Dreammaker statue here, concept art, and it's set to debut at Hong Kong Disneyland in October, and I think it's very likely we will get a date for when it will debut in October. And then we have World of Frozen, and I was originally going to say that we'll most likely hear an opening date of this land at Destination D23, but earlier today they announced that World of Frozen will be opening on November 20th. So November 20th is when World of Frozen will open, but I think it's very likely they will still talk about World of Frozen and just give us a summary of everything coming to World of Frozen. All right, and lastly, we have Shanghai Disneyland. First, we have the Zootopia Land, where a couple of days ago they just announced and showcased a bunch of things with the land. They announced the name of the attraction, and they will most likely, very likely, talk about the Zootopia Land at Destination D23, and maybe even an opening date, because it is said to open later this year, so maybe they will give us an opening date for the Zootopia Land. And finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the third hotel coming to Shanghai Disney Resort. Just recently, they broke ground and announced a brand new third hotel coming to the resort, and they gave us some information on what will be included in the hotel. And I think possibly at Destination D23, they will talk more about that hotel, possibly give us a name for the hotel, and possibly some concept art. But we'll just have to see. So guys, those are all of my Destination D23 Disney Parks predictions. I'm sure this video was a long video. I originally didn't want the video to be this long, but I still hope you guys enjoyed it. However, I'm not done yet because I still have one more prediction, and it is my wild card prediction. So a wild card prediction is just something random that they could they're a wild card prediction is just a prediction, just a random prediction to throw out there that has a 0.00001% chance of being announced or talked about at the event. So this isn't 100% confirmed. It has a very low chance of being announced or talked about. But it could possibly be announced or talked about. At least I hope it's announced or talked about. So my wild card prediction for the Disney Parks panel is an announcement for a reimagined Imagination Pavilion with a brand new Journey into Imagination ride. This has been something that everybody has been talking about and speculating and wanting for the longest time now. This is my wild card prediction. It has a very low chance of being announced at Destination D23, but I really hope, and I'm sure there's lots of other people out there too who hope that this does get announced at Destination D23, because one, Figment is getting his own meet and greet. Now, they might wait to see how the Figment meet and greet does. However, why would you wait? Because Figment is possibly the most popular character in Walt Disney World. He's a very, very, very popular character. He's a fan favorite. Like last year with the Figment popcorn bucket, people were waiting in a 4-hour line to just get a popcorn bucket of Figment. So that just goes to show how much people love Figment. So why would you wait to see how his meet and greet does when you had a 4-hour line for a Figment popcorn bucket? Of course, the Figment meet and greet will probably do well. The Figment meet and greet will probably do well. I'm sure there's going to be a long line. And plus, there's also a movie in the works about Figment. So we have a Figment movie. We have a Figment meet and greet. We have a Figment popcorn bucket that people waited in a 4-hour line for. Yet still no Journey into Imagination revamp or reimagining with a brand new ride. And so that's my wild card prediction, is that I really hope that they do announce finally a Figment, something surrounding Figment. Not just a meet and greet or a popcorn bucket, like an actual brand new ride and reimagining for the pavilion. And along with that, hopefully they announce Dreamfinder. If they do announce this, which probably not a likely chance they will, but to announce this, but I really do hope they announce this along with the return of Dreamfinder. So that's my wildcard prediction. Alright guys, so that now concludes my parks predictions, my Disney parks predictions for Destination D23. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to keep my expectations low. I don't want to get my hopes up. But just my overall predictions for this panel. I'm only expecting them to announce or to give us updates on current projects happening around the Disney parks. But I really hope they announce some new stuff. Even a new ride announcement, like a brand new fresh attraction announcement. That would be great. So I really hope they announce at least one new thing at this event, or a couple new things, but at least one. So yeah, I'm really hoping they announce some new stuff. So my overall predictions, they'll probably just give us updates on stuff happening at the Disney parks right now, but I really hope they announce some new things too. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm gonna just head in and we'll see what they announce. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it is not a disappointment. So tomorrow's the day, and I will most likely make at least one, maybe even a couple videos surrounding Destination D23. If they announce something big, like that nobody was expecting at all, like the Figment, like my Wildcard Prediction, like if they do announce Journey into Imagination Refurb, that'll probably be its own separate video. If they do announce a Dino Lamp replacement, that'll probably be its own separate video. But I will hopefully, most likely, make some content surrounding everything that's announced at Destination D23. So, yeah. So that's it. So that's it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time on Traffic Max Fun. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.